Okay, so you're out fishing. You're finding fish after fish pool after fish pool, and you're moving up and you're moving up and you're moving up, and you're having a great day. And it's getting late. And you're thinking, that's okay, I know a shortcut. And then you get turned around in your shortcut. And now it's getting dark, and you're lost. What do? What's the best thing to do? What would you do? Stay with me, and I'll tell you what I'll do, and it's probably a good thing to actually do. Anyway, stay tuned, I'll tell you all about it. Look at them go!
Look at that beautiful fish. Fraser Fishing Adventures took us right there. Yeah, baby! Stay tuned for some more of these halibut. Halibut.
Oh, here comes another trout. Ooh, it's a big one. This is ridiculous.
So when you're hiking around fishing, typically, I mean, I don't know about you, but I always have some sort of a backpack. I carry my bear spray and fishing rod, very basic tackle because I like to fly fish for rainbows and grayling. And the rainbows, you know, don't require a large package of lures. Nice and light, little box of flies. You know, I can put a couple hundred different flies in a tiny little box. Perfect. But how do you get lost? Well, let's not call it lost. That sounds too desperate. I think it's more like temporarily misplaced. So, you've temporarily misplaced yourself. Now, how's this happen? Well, you know, you think a straight line through a bush is a straight line. Wrong. It's almost impossible without a compass to make a straight line through a bush. Going one tree, next tree, suddenly you're off 2 degrees and you could miss the whole road or the whole camp or wherever you were heading to very easily. You could fall down a hill, something simple like that, and then become very disoriented. Trying to get around a brush pile like this, you know, and suddenly you're off a few degrees. That's all it takes sometimes. You know, a couple degrees makes a huge difference when you've walked, you know, like I'll walk 7-8 kilometers in a day fishing pools. So, yeah, a couple degrees could put me off a whole kilometer by the time I am near my destination, which means I'll miss the whole camp entirely. So, yeah, getting misplaced, it's not impossible. It's not difficult to do, to be honest. So it can happen to any of us. I've actually had, even with all my preparations, I've had a situation where I literally had to sit down and seriously think about my position because I wasn't sure and I wanted to be sure. You know, there are thousands of people lost in the woods every year, and every one of them, well, I shouldn't say every one of them, just about every one of them knew where they were. They knew they would never get lost, and yet they required some form of rescue. So to sit and say, I won't get lost. I have a GPS that you tripped and broke or fell in the water and is no longer useful, or your app on your iPhone that suddenly doesn't work because you have no cell phone service. We rely on technology way too much. I have with me a compass. I don't recommend a compass to you unless you know how to use a compass and you have taken bearings before you head out into the bush. There's a lot of things that you need to know about how to reverse bearing. on a compass for orienteering, but that's my small thing. My compass works in any weather. It doesn't run out of batteries. So there's that. But a lot of people have been getting lost because of reliance on technology. So it's actually becoming more of an issue these days of people being lost because they're dependent on their iPhones, etc. So to have these small preparations in a bag, do it once, leave them in there, even if they're expired. Your freeze-dried foods and you know, your vacuum sealed items, they'll stay in there forever, literally, and to have them is gold, really. Now we gotta go set up the tent before it gets dark. So anyway, taking these few precautions will and can save your life. But yeah, I don't pack a gun with me. There may be one in my camp, but when I'm walking the river, I usually have an air horn, which I don't have today because I didn't get a replacement bottle. And or I have my bear spray, and you know, don't leave home without it. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to discharge a bear spray that's getting to the end of its life, and show you guys what it looks like and how to properly discharge a bear spray. You may not have ever seen that. Very useful to know, and you know, you don't want to practice on a bear. I know the cans are $30 to $40, but knowing how to use it and what distance you can use it makes a huge difference. Because I'll tell you, when you're being chased by a bear, doesn't matter how close he is, he's still too close. But unfortunately, the bear spray only works to like a good 4 meters, and that at that point, most people have already discharged it, so it hasn't done as good a job as it should. And bear spray really does a very good job. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to a small pool just up here where I've picked out a camp that I passed earlier, and that'll be my survival camp for tonight. And I'll see you guys there. Okay guys, so this is the spot I picked out earlier when I was fishing upstream a little bit. Got a nice sandy spot. You know, I don't have my, you know, bedroll or anything, so, you know, and I don't really want to lay in the rocks or right in the bush. It's a little bit higher, so it's kind of high ground. I'm gonna set my tent up in the sand. Let me do that now. I'll come back, get that fire started, and cook up some trout. Sweet. Nice little creek rainbow trout, and we will cook him up tonight. Very soon, actually. But the key here is to have all your stuff prepped. It happens fast. Your tinder will run out very quickly. So you need to have your layers of wood ready to go. And it needs to be nice and dry. Base of this bark. That should help get us some air into there. Now, I have the charred cloth and my shredded toilet paper, which I've been using forever. Everybody laughs at me, but you painstakingly pull this stuff apart, and it is the best tinder, if it's kept dry, that you can imagine. So I got that, and then I got my charred cloth. because it's getting too hot. The camera. So I'm just gonna keep putting some sticks on here. Put this back over here. That was patience because I went through a few pieces of char cloth to get that coal. So patience, don't give up. Now another fun fact about having a pan like this is it's spread out further, and so it heats water way faster, way faster. Here's my last year's, that's my last year's emergency pack, so I'm gonna use it up and make a fresh one for this season. There's my coffee for tomorrow morning. Some hydrates and some of my vegetables. That water is looking pretty hot. So, I'm gonna throw in my vegetables. There we go. There's not a lot of water, so I'm only gonna use probably a third of the OXO cube. Save it for something else. One thing I have to do is I have to make some chopsticks real fast because I don't have any utensils. This is an emergency. Finishing up, I'll just take some of these little willow sticks and make myself some chopsticks. Water's boiling, trout is cooking, and there you have it. A pair of chopsticks for dinner. I probably need to turn that trout over. Oh yeah, she's starting to flake apart already. Ooh, that hurt. And this. Let's get that off the water. Or off the fire, I mean. Set it aside. Pour in my couscous. Make sure that's all stirred up. Get this. I don't have anything to cover it, so. It'll have to be what it'll have to be. Stir it a little up. Okay. Now this trout. Right here. Put that back over the fire. Now let's make sure there's no dirt on my hands. Let's see if we can just peel that off and get the bone out. Just in case all the meat falls. Oh yeah, look at that. We have ourselves a bush meal. We got vegetables, we got some pasta, we got some protein. We got some homemade chopsticks, and we're gonna give it a taste. The first taste, here we go. Looks good, looks good. Mmm. Mmm. The couscous is lovely. Vegetables are quite tasty. When they've been freeze dried, the flavor all comes back. It's very good. Easy survival meal. It weighed nothing in my pack, took up no space at all. And this is my dinner for tonight. I got some coffee for tomorrow. Hopefully by then, somebody will find me. All right, guys, it's been a long one today. I have, I don't know, I think I must have done 6 to 8 kilometers looking for fish. We caught some fish, which was good. And we had a rainbow trout for dinner, and it's been a long day, so I'm gonna head to bed. It's about to storm. The rain will put me to sleep, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, it's chilly this morning. A little bit of rain last night, as we predicted. Some dew on the tent. Do we have skip the dishes out here when you're lost? That'd be helpful. Then they can help me get home too. Yeah, back to bed. Well, it wasn't the best of sleep, but it wasn't the worst sleep either. Because I had some sand, and I had a pretty busy night or day yesterday. Sorry, I'm trying to wake up. Yeah, it walked a lot of miles, so I don't think I would have not slept a little bit anyway. So this morning I got the fire going again, and well, as you've seen in my kit, I brought a little package of coffee with some creamer and sugar already in it. So anyway, I have my can sitting in by the fire heating up. It's not hot, it's warm. I just don't want to be able to not hold on to it. So anyway, I've added the coffee. I need to get some of that in me before I can start mentally happening to this day. We got to get rescued today. Today is rescue day. Well, maybe it's almost iced coffee. I think people pay more money for that, don't they? At least it's coffee. Okay, so we're gonna just discharge a bear spray. We're gonna do a little test. The recommended distance on this is 4 meters. We have a pie plate there. I think it's just slightly more than 4 meters. We want to test its actual dispersion rate. And one thing, always be safe if you're testing these things and check the wind. We do have a little bit of wind that's swirling, so we're gonna have to keep our eye on that because you will not like this. So anyway, in case of a bear attack or a bear charging you, you're going to want to give them time to get close enough, because this will, as you'll see in the video, will disperse into a fog and it'll be no good at a distance well before you're panicking. So the first thing you got to do is you got to hook your thumb around this orange tab and pull up and back. Now this thing is hot and ready to go. So we're going to give it a quick shot just to see if we get any pattern, and then I'm going to give a full spray. So you can see the fog is actually hitting that pie plate. Now I'm going to give it a pretty solid spray. Hopefully that's a really angry bear now and upset about it and goes the other way. Now we're getting a little bit of a change in wind here. I see some of it coming back, so I'm going to step away. But I'm going to now go check the dispersion and see if anything has hit the paper. And you can see on the pie plate there is a pattern of spray. So that's the distance that you'll want to be at least, and I'm going to use the word bare minimum, to spray a bear. No pun intended. Here are some takeaway points from today's episode. Shortcuts are not always shorter. Always carry essentials with you, including a knife, fire starter, whistle, and a signal mirror. Straight lines in the bush without a GPS are difficult, if not impossible. While traveling forward, look behind you quite often, so when you return, things will be easily recognized. If you are where you are lost, stay put. Conserve energy. You do not know how long you're going to be out there. Do not rely solely on your electronics. Make sure somebody knows where you are and when you will be back, or they won't come find you. Know how to use all the equipment in your bag before heading out.
Well, I know where I'm going now. Thanks for joining me. I'm Scott from Realistic Outdoors. Stay safe and don't get lost.
If you're interested in finding out more fun stuff about Realistic Outdoors, or you're interested in becoming a sponsor, you can check us out on one of our social media pages. If you're a guide or a lodge wishing to showcase your services on Realistic Outdoors, shoot us a message. We'd love to hear from you. If you want more information on how to contact any of our sponsors,